Hey, Opal. Are you there? I just wanted to let you know that I heard the big news. You're going to be buying a big new house so that you and your mom can live together, right? I actually went to go and check on the house with your mom not all that long ago, and I have to say that I was really blown away with how huge it was. It was amazing! You really outdid yourself picking that one, did you know that? I mean, it must have cost you a fortune or something, right?
I'm sorry, Paula, but I really don't have time for this. Is there something that I can do for you? What is it that you're trying to get at?
I'm only trying to compliment you on how well you've done picking out a huge house like that for you and your mom to live in. You don't have to be so rude to me, you know. I mean, after all, I'm your sister-in-law. You know, your brother's wife. Not only that, but I'm older than you too. So how about you learn to show a little more respect for the elders in your family? You know this is why your parents don't love you. Because you've always been so mean to everyone, even when they are only trying to be nice to you.
First of all, you are not my family. I don't care if you're married to my brother. Please don't refer to yourself as my family. Do you understand?
What are you talking about? That's how marrying into a family works. You're related to your brother, right? Well, I'm married. That makes us sisters-in-law. The title literally has sister in the name. How can we not be family at this point? You know, I hear all the time from your mom about all the problems that she has with you. So your mom seems to be pretty comfortable telling me all the family secrets. What do you think about that? I know that all your life you've caused nothing but awful trouble for your mom. So that's why nobody ever wants you. You're such a jerk. But that's why it's my job to scold you into shape.
Paula, I just said that I don't have time for this at all. And I don't really care what kind of scolding you have in store for me. I'm an adult and don't need to listen to that.
Of course you do. You clearly need someone older than you to tell you all the ways wrong with how you live. And I'll be the first one to break it to you. You're fat and ugly and you're stupid and you can't do anything right.
So you're really all buddy-buddy with my mom, huh? I guess Charlie going away on that business trip gave you quite the excuse to sink your claws into her. But are you really going to pretend like the way you burst into my mom's house, stole my stuff, and then threw me out of my own home was just your way of disciplining me?
Oh, my goodness. You can't still be mad about that, right? I mean, are you serious? Besides, you are blowing this way out of proportion. I didn't steal anything from you. You gave me all of those fancy handbags from the kindness of your heart, don't you remember? So don't go around telling people that I'm a thief or else you'll be in serious trouble. You really need to learn your new place in this family now that I'm a part of it. Because if you're not careful, you're going to get exactly what is coming to you. I can guarantee you that.
You really think that you're going to try and overshadow me to my own family? You really have lost your mind if you think that you're that popular around here.
The only crazy person around here is you, Opal. And thanks to you, I have been going through more stress than I ever have before in my entire life. And you know what else? I don't feel bad one bit about taking all of that stress out on a little punk like you. I really thought that we could have discussed this like rational adults. I was really hoping that I wouldn't have to take matters into my own hands. Hey, Opal. What is the matter with you? Huh? Just how long are you going to be there at your mom's house, huh? You need to realize that you don't have a place here anymore. So, hurry up and pack up your things, because I want you out of here. Do you hear me? I mean it. Your time is up here, and I want you out right this second.
Paula, I literally have no idea at all what you're talking about right now. I mean, literally, what does any of that even mean? You think you're going to get me to leave my own house?
I don't even know why I bother trying to talk with a stupid girl like you. You're nothing but an idiot, and I should have known better than to even try and give you a chance. Let me try one more time to make this clear. I'll speak like I would to a toddler, so that even someone with a brain as shriveled up and tiny as yours might be able to understand. I already know that the house that you're going to be moving into with your mom is going to be ready for you both to live there from next week. And I know that that's why all these movers are coming in and out of the house right now.
Yes, I am more than aware of all of that. Thank you. In fact, I was the one who called the movers and asked them to start clearing out the house.
Well, then when are you finally going to get lost as well? Honestly, just how long are you going to hang around the house now that you've already set all of this into motion? Don't you realize that all your stuff is in the way of the movers and is going to hold back this whole process? Do you think you're going to be able to get all of your stuff moved to wherever you're going for free as well? If you don't get rid of your stuff, I'll do it for you.
I don't really know what you're talking about at all. But if you're talking about my belongings, they are going to the same place that my mom is going to be living. So...
Wait, what? What in the world is that supposed to mean, huh? I haven't heard any of this until now. You really think that you're going to be moving in with your mom to her new house?
Paula, you're not making any sense at all. And if you don't want me to start ignoring your texts, you're going to have to explain to me exactly what it is that you're trying to say.
I see. I guess you still don't get what I'm trying to say to you, is that it? I would have thought that at least one of your 2 brain cells might have been able to figure out what's going on here. So let me make this clear. You are not going to be moving in with your mom. Do you understand? We don't want you, and neither does your mom. Instead, Charlie and I are going to be moving in with your mom. There. Is that clear enough for you?
I mean, at least the words actually led to a conclusion that I was able to understand, but I still have no idea what you're actually meaning by that.
Yes, you do. Don't you play stupid with me. Your mom told me that she told you to pack your bags and get out of the house. Or at least, I thought she would have told you all of that by now. But I guess maybe she didn't even think you were worth telling any of that to. But that just shows how much respect you have around here.
Okay, wait. So you're trying to tell me that instead of me moving in with my mom into the new house that we were buying so that I could move in with my mom, that instead you and my brother are going to be moving in with my mom instead?
That's right. That's exactly what I've been trying to tell you this whole time, you idiot. I mean, did you really think that you were going to be living with your mom in that huge, amazing, expensive house that she showed me? Because if so, then that is just so sad. It's pathetic. Now hurry up. Put all your crap into a box or a suitcase or whatever receptacle you have lying around and get out of the house right now.
Okay, then I guess I'll go ahead and do that. But I really don't think that we're on the same page.
Oh, shut up! I don't see any point in carrying on this conversation with you any further at this point. Just know that I want you out of the house by the end of the day. Do you got it?
I mean, I'll be a little rushed if you really want me out of the house before the end of the day, but don't worry, I promise to do my best. Hey, Mom, are you there? If you have some time, there's something that I'd really like to talk to you about. It has to do with us moving in together and all. Or rather, that's actually the question that I had to begin with. Is it true that you'd rather live with Paula than me? Because if you think that you can get me to shell out money for your new house only to try and keep me from living there as well, then I think that is really, really unfair of you.
Oh my gosh. I should have known it was only a matter of time before I had to hear about this from you. And I should have known that you'd be just as whiny and bratty about it as you've always been. But yes, if you really want to know the truth, I've asked your brother and Paula to come and live with me. They're going to be the ones to take care of me, which means that I don't need you around anymore.
You don't need me? How can you say that after you just used me to get a free brand new house? You're being completely unfair to me right now, don't you get that?
And just what do you think gives you the right to talk to me like this, huh? I'm your mother and what I say goes. So if I tell you that we're not going to be living together, then you should accept that and move on. Honestly, why are you always like this? You're always looking for someone to blame for all of your problems. When are you going to realize that you're the problem? It's you.
It's me? Huh? I'm the problem? It's me. Is that really what you're trying to tell me right now?
Of course it's what I'm trying to tell you. Don't you get that? You've been this way ever since you were a little girl, and quite frankly, I am sick and tired of it. Not only that, but you've never been anything but a stupid little girl who's been a pain in her family's side for years now. You have no idea the kind of pain and turmoil you've been putting all of us through. Honestly, why can't you be more like your sister-in-law, Paula, huh? Compared to you, she may as well be the perfect example of piety. In fact, I wish that she were my real daughter. That's what I see as now anyways. And now that I have the daughter that I've always wanted, I can finally tell you to hit the road.
But then, I don't get it. How could you say that I've caused you nothing but trouble when I'm the one who built you a new house? That isn't fair, Mom.
Oh, what do you want? You think I should get on my knees and thank you for all that you've done for me? You think you're queen of everything just because you bought your mom a house? You should know that you've never, ever been cute. Ever since you were a little girl, you've been nothing but an ugly, stupid eyesore, and I'll be glad to have you out of my life. I mean, really, most days I still refuse to believe that you and I are actually related by blood. There's no way that someone like me could have ever produced someone as useless and terrible as you.
I just don't get it, Mom. We're all that we have for each other ever since Dad cheated on you and left us here. Besides, Charlie and I are siblings. We both have your blood running through our veins. So why do you always have to treat me so horribly?
Don't you dare try and compare yourself to your brother. How could you even think to do something like that? You may be my daughter, but you're more like your father than anything. And that man was maybe even more useless than you, if that's even possible. He worked at that same lumber company for years and years and years and years. He was a no-good bottom feeder who was also the lowest of the low of his whole company. And the fact that he worked that same job for so long just proves what a horrible man he was. In fact, did you know that any time he had to spend any of his own money on you, he would turn around and demand that I pay him back right away? He really was just terrible.
Mom, I still don't get it. I don't understand what I've done to make you hate me like this. You've said horrible things to me like this ever since I was little.
Well, of course I have. I had to get it through your head from early on that you were nothing but a useless little punk in my eyes. I still feel bad for myself that I had to give birth to someone like you. But at least you've managed to prove to me that you're not totally worthless to have around. After all, you did buy me the house and all, but then again, it really was the least that you could do to pay me back for all the suffering and hardship you've put me through. Hey, Opal. Are you there? You have some serious explaining to do. I want to know what is going on, and I want to know right now. Do you understand me?
Wow, well, you sure seem to be full of energy this morning, aren't you, Paula? But I don't get what you mean. Is something the matter? What seems to be the problem here?
Don't you play stupid with me, you little punk! You know exactly what the problem is! I want to know where all the furniture in the house has been taken to. It's not anywhere I can find it. Don't you realize that this is theft? You're a thief! And if you don't want me to call the police on you right now, then you better return my stuff. I'm serious. You better do it right now.
I really am not sure what you're talking about, Paula. I haven't done anything wrong, though. In fact, all that I've done is exactly as you've told me. I packed up my stuff and left. After all, I was the one who had basically bought all of the furniture that was sitting in the house for that whole time, so obviously I included that in what I took with me. I mean, you were the one saying that I was in the way of the moving process and that you wanted me gone as soon as possible. If anything, I thought that you'd be grateful that I'd moved out all of my stuff by the end of the day, just like you asked. So what again is the problem that you're having?
You really think that I wouldn't have a problem with you robbing us blind like this? I thought that you were just going to pack up your clothes and some of your small belongings and go. But you should have known better. You should have left us all your furniture as a housewarming gift for all of us. How could you just take everything in the house with you and go? I really didn't think you were that kind of person. Honestly, in all my life, I don't think that I've ever met someone so annoying, so vexing. Someone who can drive me up the wall as well as you have.
Well, to be perfectly honest with you, I take all of that as a compliment. But the only luggage around here that needs to be taken out is you.
And just what is that supposed to mean? Huh? How dare you talk to me like that? You have seriously got some nerve. When are you going to learn to show respect to your elders, huh?
It means that I guess you just really don't like me at all. There might have been a time in life when I would have just taken all of that abuse from my family, but not anymore. You're not going to like what I have in store for you, but it's high time that I stand up for myself and put you all in your place.
That doesn't even make any sense at all. Whew, you really have lost your mind if you think that I understood a single word of that. I don't care what craziness you're plotting, just give us back our furniture. Oh, that's it. I tried to warn you, but now you've really done it. I gave you all night to bring back our furniture, and now I'm going to sue you for theft. So unless you don't want to be handed a bill for the $1 million worth of furniture that you stole from us, you better give it all back right now. Got it?
Oh man, I heard my phone blowing up and I was wondering who might be trying to get in touch with me this early in the morning. You have no idea how disappointed I was to see that it was just you giving me all of these empty threats. Anyways, I'm quite busy, so if you could just leave me alone, that would be great.
This isn't a joke! You're trash! Do you know that? How dare you try and boss me around like that? You're just a nobody!
Well, that's kind of rich coming from you, if I can be honest.
And, just what is that supposed to mean, huh?
Well, you keep going on about how I should give you back your furniture, but it was never yours to begin with.
You really have gone crazy if you think that you're going to be able to get away with this. Just bring it to our new house. Now.
I'm sorry, but there isn't going to be a new house for you all to move into.
Wait, what? What is that supposed to mean?
You mean you haven't heard? I had the house demolished. You really need to keep better track of these things.
Wait, I don't understand. How could this be? Why is the house gone? What did you do to our house?
I literally just told you in the last text that I sent. I had it demolished, remember?
But I don't understand. How could you tear down a house like that so quickly?
Well, the house was actually never there to begin with.
But that's not true. I saw it. It was there.
I mean, the facade was there, but there was still a lot of interior work to be done. So tearing it down was actually quite easy. I mean, you didn't think a house could actually be built that quickly, right? You keep calling me the idiot, but you didn't even think of this.
Wait, what? But, I mean, so then you were never going to build a house in the first place?
Actually, yes, I was never going to.
But this doesn't make any sense at all. You tricked us. You told us that you were going to buy us a house and then you lied about it. Don't you know that we've already sold our old place? What are we supposed to do now?
Don't tell me that you're actually upset because I decided to stand up to you all.
And just what is that supposed to mean, huh?
You know, at first I was only doing this to get back at my mom for all her years of abuse. But when you decided to hitch your cart to hers, I figured it was just two birds with one stone. As for what you two are going to have to do, that really isn't my problem at all. But good luck with it all anyways.
Ugh, you useless little brat! What kind of sick daughter tries to get revenge on her own mother? Oh, that's just messed up. Hey, you better answer me. We're not through here. Hello, Opal. I realized that I might have lost my cool for a little bit during our conversation yesterday. But now I realize that there actually isn't anything to worry about at all. You think you've left me homeless, but I still have a place to go. We're going to have your mom come and live with us in our condo. So there. I bet you didn't see that one coming, did you? Not only that, but we're going to hire a lawyer and sue you into the ground.
You know, Paula, sometimes I wish I could have the brain that you do. Being able to live in a fantasy world like you must be really nice.
Excuse me? Just what is that supposed to mean, huh?
I mean that you don't have any home to go back to, and the reason is because I sent the proof of your affair to my brother. So if you're looking for a lawyer, I would start looking for a defense lawyer who specializes in divorce. Because my brother is going to be the one suing, and it's going to be you he's doing it to.
Wait, what? What are you talking about? What affair? You really are crazy if you think anything like that is going on around here.
Oh, come on. Why even bother trying to hide it at this point? Although I have to say that I was shocked when I realized that it was going on. I knew that you were an evil, heartless woman to me, but I didn't expect you to betray my brother like this.
You. This is all just your way of trying to get back at me, isn't it? You have it out for me, and you're trying to ruin my life.
Well, yes, it is my way of getting back at you for the way that you've been treating me. But I'm also not wrong. You've been cheating on my brother, and now that he knows, he's looking for a divorce lawyer. So I really don't think that you have that home you thought you could go back to now either.
But this isn't fair. Why are you picking on me like this? The person who you're really mad at is your mom, so why come after me? Oh, you're just angry. You're an angry, spiteful woman, and you want everyone to feel as awful as you do, isn't that right?
Perhaps, but only towards the people who've made me feel this way. Besides, you hate me too, so what's the big deal? And I just feel so sorry for my brother. He's working so hard away from his home while you're wasting all of his money carrying on with this affair. You spend all your time at my mom's house all because you didn't want to have to pay off any of the utility bills on your condo. And then in my mom's house, you thought that you could make yourself at home and take whatever belongings of mine happened to catch your eye.
And what's wrong with wanting to spend more time with my mother-in-law, huh? Especially when the only other person she would have around is a wet blanket like you.
Oh, don't worry. That's why I'm coming after both you and my mom. After all, I know you've been whispering in her ear to make things harder on me.
It's not my fault, though. It's just your mom and I get along by gossiping about you. But she didn't have to follow through on the ideas that I've been giving her.
You say all of that, but I really just don't care at all what excuses you have for yourself. You both said so many horrible things to me, day in and day out. You called me ugly and fat and stupid and useless. My mom was really bad, but she was never this bad until you came along. You made things 10 times worse just by your presence.
But this isn't fair. You still don't have a right to come after me like this. I didn't even do anything to you. Besides, it's only words. You're going to make me homeless over some mean things I said?
You think it was just words? Thanks to you, my mom pushed me downstairs. She's knocked into me while I've been carrying hot food, and has done so many other things to hurt me. And meanwhile, you were there to laugh at my pain and encourage her. You were the one who pushed her farther and farther to act like that.
But I mean, that's not fair. I wasn't the one actually doing any of that. And besides, it's not like you can say that you didn't deserve any of that. You had all of this coming to you.
You can say that all you want, but don't you realize how you acting this way towards me only pushed me to this point? I already told you that my original plan was only to pull this trick on my mom. I didn't like you, but I wasn't going to take it this far. But you just had to get yourself so involved in the problems between the two of us that you basically handed yourself the rope that you find yourself in.
If I knew that you were such a crazy person, I would have never tried to pull something like this. Please. Oh, you have to forgive me. I take it all back. Just please don't do this. I'm begging you here.
Ugh, I really don't have time to be dealing with this right now, and I don't think that you do either. But anyways, I already told you that you only have yourself to blame for all of this. I had no intention of doing anything to you before you started really messing with me. But more than anything, I just feel bad for my brother. I mean, to think that he really loved you and you ended up stabbing him in the back like this? All of this is to say that I don't think that I'm the one that you should be talking to right now. After all, my brother is going to divorce you, and I'd be much more worried about what's in store for you next.
But this can't be happening. How did it all come to this? I just don't understand.
Well, don't you worry. I've done everything in my power to make sure that Charlie is going to be able to leave you with no problems. I've even sent all of the evidence I've collected of your affair to the police, so they know all about it as well. But good luck. You're going to need it.
You. How dare you? I mean, really, you were the worst daughter that anyone could have ever asked for. Do you know how hard I worked to raise you right? How much money I poured into feeding and clothing you? I've never even known anyone to act this way, ever. I'm going to sue you. I'm going to sue you and make you pay me back every single cent that I've ever spent on you. Do you hear me? You're not going to get away with this.
First of all, I want to make something very clear to you. I do not consider myself your daughter at all. You talk about all the hard work and money that you put into raising me, but I think you're forgetting all the horrible pain and hardship that I've had to go through my entire life as well.
What in the world are you even talking about? The moment I started to see more of your father in you, that should have been the sign to kick you out. But I told myself that I could never do that to my own child, and I was kind enough to let you stay. And this is the thanks that you show me.
Oh, please, Mom. I'm not going to be fooled by that lie anymore. I know the truth.
What are you talking about? You don't know anything, you little brat.
I know that you told me that you caught Dad going out with some younger woman from his office, right? But you never actually had any proof at all that he was cheating on you or that he even had that kind of relationship with this woman. You just flew off the handle and demanded that the divorce happen. Isn't that right?
You don't know anything. Why in the world would a man be out for drinks with a younger woman from his office, huh? That had to be an affair, and I know it.
I don't care what you have to say anymore. It's clear that there's really no point in keeping this up anyways. But it's really no skin off my neck. After all, my revenge is finally done, and I don't have any other reason to deal with you.
How dare you talk to your mother this way, you little brat? You don't get to tell me why your father and I split up. Just who in the world do you think you are? But whatever. I don't need a daughter like you anyways. After all, now I have Paula. And she already agreed to live with me and take care of me for the rest of my life.
I think you might be putting the cart before the horse there. But like I said, it's really not my problem.
And, just what is that supposed to mean, huh? Why do you always seem to think that you know something that I don't?
I'm just saying that even if Paula is still wanting to do that, I'm not sure how much use she would be. I mean, you do realize that this whole time the three of us were all living in your house, I was the only one doing any work around there, right?
What? No, that can't be right. Paula would always tell me what she had done around the house that day. You're lying.
Choose not to believe me if you want, but the truth is that she demanded that I do everything that she had told you she'd done. In fact, you two would spend basically all day just talking and gossiping together, so I really don't know when you think she would have had any time to do any work around the house.
So you're telling me that the whole time that she was living with me, Paula actually never did a single thing to help out around the house?
That's right. Must be quite the nasty surprise for you, though, right? Here you thought that I was the good-for-nothing, useless daughter when the real one was right under your nose the whole time.
Well, that's because you were doing it all. You should have given her more things to do around the house. She couldn't do anything because you were taking all the work.
Is that really the best excuse that you can come up with for her? Why don't you just accept that Paula was never going to be able to take care of you? I mean, you know Paula much better than I do, or at least you've spent much more time with her. Do you really think she's capable of all the work it takes to be there for you? But anyways, it really doesn't matter since her and Charlie are getting divorced anyways.
But if she and Charlie get divorced, then what's going to happen to me? Who's going to take care of me if not you or Paula?
Probably no one, Mom. Nobody is going to take care of you, and you're going to live out the rest of your years alone. It didn't have to be this way, though. If you had just carried less hate in your heart, then I wouldn't have been pushed to this point. If you didn't let your daughter-in-law bully me just like you did, then I wouldn't have had to go after you both. But now I can finally be free of you and never have to worry about dealing with your horrible abuse ever again. So with that, I say goodbye and good riddance. After that, Charlie returned from his business trip and began the divorce process with Paula. Paula, who was already in quite a bit of debt, was forced to pay a huge fine for her affair. After that, she had to quickly find work and moved into a tiny little apartment by herself. Not only after that, my mom, now without a home, begged Paula to let her move in. Paula agreed for some reason, but I imagine she regrets it now. I hear rumors that fights and shouting are heard from their apartment almost every night. In the end, it got so bad that Paula had to check herself into a psych ward. So, with no one else to take care of her, my mom was finally left on the street and without a penny to her name. She got caught stealing from a store and ended up in jail. Knowing that my mom was finally locked up, it was like a huge weight had been taken off of my shoulders. I was finally free to live my life.
Maddie, tomorrow is the day of your wedding, right? And your fiancé Aaron is one of the elite, correct? I am so very proud of my little girl and what she's obtained.
Thank you, Mom.
Aaron will be having a lot of guests at that wedding as well, right? I'm sure that all of them will be in elite status as well, all making more than I've ever seen in my life each year. I'm so excited. I kind of gave in due to this occasion and bought myself a very high-end dress. This is my daughter's wedding after all, so I just knew I had to go out and find the most gorgeous-looking dress that would fit me and buy it.
I see. Thank you, Mom. I'm excited to see what kind of dress you've gotten tomorrow, and I'm sure everyone else will be all over you asking about it.
This is it. Have you taken a good look at the picture I sent you? It's really pretty, right? It cost me a lot more than I normally spend on anything. So much, actually, that I might need myself another credit card. Just know that I got this dress for your wedding, so you should feel very happy about that.
Mom, this dress, I see you took a picture of it with the price tag and all being displayed for me to view.
I was just doing that so you could see what brand the dress was. But the fact that this dress just by itself was $1,000, that's pretty expensive, right? I knew that I needed to put that kind of money into my fashion for tomorrow's wedding, since it is your one and only occasion. I'll just have to make sure that I pay that $1,000 off rather soon.
I see. Well, hearing you say that does make me feel happy. Thank you.
See, you're happy, right? If you're that happy over the dress I got, then that means I made the right choice. But here's the thing, Maddie. I am a single woman now ever since your father ran away. So getting that $1,000 and using it to pay off this dress is going to be very difficult for me. I guess it does cost a lot to make your daughter happy.
Mom, could you let me pay that $1,000 for you?
What?
Look, you've done so much for me all my life, like raising me, supporting me, even educating me. I'm thankful for all those things that you've done as my mother. So I would like to pay for your dress.
Maddie, there's a tear rolling down my cheek right now. Your mom. I really raised myself such a wonderful little girl.
You don't have to say anything, Mom. It's only right that I pay for your dress.
Then I'll also have you pay for my heels, my new jewelry, and for me to go to the beauty salon to get all my work done, which will come to around $2,000. I am so happy.
What? $2,000?
That's right. It wasn't just the dress that I went all in for your wedding. There were plenty of other things that I spent a little bit extra on for you. But to hear you saying that you'll be paying for me, I guess it was the right choice after all to spend so much. I am so looking forward to seeing you at your wedding tomorrow.
Wait, but $2,000 is a little bit too...
I am so happy because of what you're doing for me. You are my most beloved daughter, Maddie. You are someone that I can brag to all my friends about, and to those I don't even know. You're so much better than your older sister, Kenzie. By the way, will Kenzie be coming to your wedding as well tomorrow?
Of course she will be. She's my older sister, after all.
Your older sister. Well, to me, she isn't even my daughter, if that goes and tells you anything about my feelings for her. But I suppose this is going to be your grand occasion for everyone to see, so I'll just have to put up with her being around me this time. Maddie, today is the day of the wedding. I can't believe it's come so quickly, and I have to tell you something very quickly here. Yesterday, I'm not sure why I went out and did this after speaking to you, perhaps out of excitement or something, but I bought myself a new dress.
What? You bought yourself another new dress yesterday?
This is going to be my daughter's wedding after all, so I didn't want to have any regrets going into it. Well, thinking about what I could do to keep those regrets at bay, my legs took me right into another dress store. And without even thinking about it, I bought myself a $3,000 dress.
Hold on a minute, Mom. What happened to you being done with all that spending so that you could focus on paying off your cards?
But this is my daughter's one and hopefully only wedding, right? There's no reason for me to be so stingy during this kind of event, right? Or are you trying to tell me something here, Maddie? Are you trying to say that you don't want to see me in my best dress?
I never said that. It's just $3,000? Are you really sure it's okay for you to be spending that kind of money on my wedding when you don't really even have that kind of money available to you? You were already expressing to me yesterday that $1,000 would be tough on you.
I know that something like me having to pay all of that would trouble you. That's why I'm going to take advantage of this moment and ask that you pay off this $3,000 for me as well.
I knew this would happen.
I'm so sorry, Maddie, but you really are my favorite daughter, one that I know I can brag about to anyone I want to. I am so proud of you, Maddie.
However, there's also the $2,000 you told me about yesterday, Mom. I was just planning on giving you $1,000, all right? That's why I said I'd be willing to pay for the dress you told me about yesterday. That $3,000 you're talking about now is a little...
What? What are you trying to say here?
Well, the $1,000 dress I plan on paying for, you're not even going to be wearing now, correct? Do you think you can take it back to the store for me and return it?
What was that?
Huh? What was that?
How do you read that word?
What word?
Return? No, wait. Retorn? How do you even read that word? What does it even mean, Maddie? That's a word I've never seen before in my life, so perhaps it's some kind of new slang you younger people have come up with.
You've never seen or read the word return before? Are you joking, Mom?
I'm very serious right now. I don't even know what the meaning of that word could be. And well, since I don't know what that word is, or what it even means, I'm not going to be able to go out and do it for you. Anyway, I'm going to need that $5,000.
So you're going to play games with me now, huh? I have never heard of anyone your age who has spoken English all her life not knowing how to read or understand the word return. I am appalled by you now, Mom.
You have always been so intelligent, understanding, even the most bizarre words like that one there. I love you so much for that. Anywho, good luck getting ready for your wedding today, and I'll be seeing you very soon. I'll be asking for that money today as well.
Crap.
Maddie, this has been such an amazing looking wedding so far.
Kenzie! Thank you so much for coming and saying that. And thank you so much for all the help you gave me while preparing this whole event for everyone.
Don't worry about it. The fact that you've given us all this beautiful wedding day has given me the chance to come out and have some fun again. Also, I'm thinking about the fact that you're really married now. I don't really have any words that can explain the way I feel right now about that. You used to be such a little brat back in the day. And now you're with a man who loves you more than anyone else here.
That's on point, actually. Sometimes I think about that myself. How could a girl as wild as me end up with a man who actually wants to hang on to me for the rest of his life? But listen, Kenzie, you've been like a parent to me all these years, and so seeing you today has made me tear up quite a bit.
I'm not all that important to you, am I? I think you're just being a bit dramatic calling me a parent to you.
What are you talking about? You took the place of our horrible mother who have been so addicted to gambling. You went and did all the chores and cooked for us while she was always out of the house, and you even went as far as paying for my schooling after I got out of high school. It was also because of me that you never went on to college or anything yourself. Kenzie, you really are like my true mother, more than Mom can ever be.
All right. Stop being so dramatic about it. I don't care to think about any of the past now, so please, leave me out of it.
But you should care a little. What happened back then was not fair to you, and I really am so thankful that you stepped in to help me that much.
How about you leave all those emotions for the speech or something then, huh? I just texted you to tell you how much I'm enjoying your wedding today, and that it's been a very lovely event. If you're going to want to talk about more serious things than that, then you're going to have to let me get more alcohol into my system first.
I get that, but Kenzie, I'm worried that after all that's happened with the family and with me, you're still upset and trying not to deal with those feelings.
What? Why would you think something like that of me? I have nothing against anyone now, and am not upset about a single thing. If I was, then I wouldn't be here right now partying with everyone else.
Are you sure? If you're really not holding back anything, then I guess I won't have to talk with you about it anymore.
I am totally fine, Maddie. Congratulations on the marriage. As your older sister, I'm very thankful that I got to see you get married today. And I made sure to give you a pretty decent present today for your wedding. So please, be happy about that.
You're talking about the 23 cents you left me?
What? What 23 cents are you talking about? That's not at all the amount I left for you.
I'm talking about the envelope you left for me with that cute card inside it. There was just 23 cents and change left in it for me. That's kind of why I got this feeling that you might be very upset with me over something that happened in the past. Had you not given me a gift at all, or maybe just a small amount, like $10, I wouldn't have been all that shocked, but 23 cents? When I saw that amount in there, I sort of thought you were trying to pick on me. Such a small and inconvenient amount.
Hold on. You're telling me in that envelope I gave to you, there was my card that I wrote and 23 cents in change? That's it? Wait, and you already went and opened your gift from me?
I only went and opened your gift, Kenzie. As I was gathering everything off the table, I came across the envelope you left, and as I picked it up, it felt a little off, with all the coins jangling around inside. That kind of piqued my interest into what exactly you gave me, and so...
So, that's why you went and opened it. I'm not upset about that or anything. Well, I'm not sure how to say this to you without sounding a little bit pretentious. There should have been $1,000 in that envelope for you, Maddie. That's how much I put in there this morning at least.
What?
And I don't ever remember putting any change in there. You're telling me there was 23 cents in that envelope when you opened it?
Yes.
There's no way I would have mistakenly put that in there without knowing it. Maddie, I think there might have been someone who stole the $1,000 I put in there.
Of course someone's gone and stolen it. But how are we supposed to find out who it was? All of my gifts were left on the table at the front of the building by the front desk. And from what the staff told me, things like money and whatnot should have all been handed to me directly.
Maddie, we already know who it is. There's only one person it could possibly be. When I went to drop off my card to at the desk, there was another woman there with me, someone I haven't wanted to see in ages.
What? Don't tell me.
So you're suspecting me of doing it now? How could you even think that about your own mom, Maddie? I'm sure it was just Kenzie being a dunce and losing the money as she walked in, right? And I think she's lying to you about something like $1,000, all right? That girl would never have that kind of money just laying around for you.
So even now, you are still against Kenzie and anything that has to do with her? Why do you hate her so much, Mom?
I never said anything about hating her, right? But I will say that I can't trust a girl like her. Also, isn't it her that hates me instead? I was the one that raised her and everything, as my first child even, yet she never once listened to me, instead choosing to constantly talk back whenever I asked her to do anything.
Anyway, you have no idea what happened, right?
That's right. I have no clue about anything you were talking about, and you are really going to suspect me of doing something like that? Give that up. You and I are family, and I would never do anything like that to my own daughter of all people.
Well, as of right now, things like being family and such have nothing to do with this. For the time being, I'll need to do a bit more research into what's happened.
All right. I really hope you can find out who did it. Hey, Maddie. What the hell was that speech all about today? I never ever stole anything out of that envelope Kenzie left for you today. You've got the wrong person here.
Mom, how about you give it up now? We have all the evidence we need that points to you doing it. The camera behind the front desk was even able to pick you up clear as day taking that money.
Well, of course it would take footage of me looking. I happen to be the mother of the bride, after all. It's my job to go and have a look at all the gifts and money people leave for you, to make sure it's all okay. I have the right to do something like that.
Mom, the footage literally shows you pulling money out of that envelope and placing it into your purse. From the way you were acting, it seemed as though you were aware of the camera, but you grew complacent when you saw the money, and the camera got that brief shot we needed.
What? There's no way.
If you're not going to confess to what you've done today, how about I put it on the projector for everyone here to see? It can be like a little courtroom here, and we can see what the jury, all my guests, think. How does that sound? Then we'll get the opinions of everyone here today. I don't mind pausing all the fun here at my wedding to do something like that. So what's it going to be, Mom?
Wait. You don't have to take things that far.
So that means you'll confess to the crime, right? The crime of stealing my money from that envelope today?
But that girl! She would never spare me a single penny even, yet she's willing to give you $1,000 on your wedding day. That's completely screwed up. I was the one that raised her into the woman she is today.
So that's how you really feel then? You think that just because you raised her, she should be required to give you money? So that's why you went and took that money from me.
I don't think that same way about you though, Maddie. You are my little girl after all. But Kenzie? She's not my real daughter. Her and I aren't even related by blood. However, out of the kindness of my heart, I still raised her, and she should have been thankful for all of that.
I can see there are plenty of things you want to say, and there are plenty of things I'd like to say now as well. But let's start with this. You never once raised Kenzie like you always seem to claim, Mom.
What?
And to help you understand things a whole lot better now between you and I, you are no longer like a mother to me.
What are you going on about right now? Listen to this, Maddie. That Kenzie was brought into this family by her father, and after all I had done for him, he ran off into the night, never to come back, leaving the rest of us behind. I had no reason to raise her after her real father, my husband, had left me.
How dare you say that? After Dad had run away and left the rest of us, it was Kenzie that stepped in to take care of us. She had to end up leaving high school and everything in order to start working different part-time jobs so that we'd have some money flowing into the house again.
She was the one who decided to do all of that herself.
She had to because of all the pressure you were placing on her every single day. From morning until night, you would tell her that it was her father's fault that our family was broken and her father's fault that we could never be happy again. She was just a junior in high school at the time, yet you were telling her to take responsibility for what her father had done and told her to work.
Well, that's what had to happen. And I wasn't wrong about what happened, right? It's because of her father that the family fell apart and couldn't be happy anymore. So her being his daughter meant that she had to take full responsibility.
Why? The one who was to blame for everything was the man who ran off at night and never came back. And do you want to know who is next in line to be blamed? His wife. Your mom. Because you never opened your heart or mind to anyone besides yourself and I, and that left her with no parents at all. She was just in high school and had no control over anything, yet you drilled the idea of being to blame into her mind and made her give up the future that she wanted.
What? You're always going on about this and that. I had to end up losing my husband so early on. And after that, I had to spend 10 years all by myself raising you into the woman you are today, without ever getting remarried or anything.
And I am thankful for what you've done. That's why I never ended up cutting ties to you after graduating high school and even invited you out to my wedding. Honestly, I didn't really want you coming today, but I knew that I had a responsibility of inviting you to my wedding. I still appreciate you raising me with what little you had.
Well then, show me some of that appreciation in your speech. What the hell was that speech about? Why am I being made to look like the bad guy here?
Because you went and stole $1,000 from that envelope Kenzie gave me, so of course you're the bad guy.
But the gift was from my daughter and was meant for this family, so I wasn't stealing anything from you.
You were just going on about how she's not your daughter and isn't even related to you by blood, yet now you're going to say she's family again? Why? Because you need her to be your family, only because you did something wrong and don't want to be blamed for it?
Well, but if she is a part of this family, then I've really done nothing wrong. I was just taking some money that was given to this family, by this family. So why are you going all crazy over it?
Mom, we all know what you've done. This isn't just about the envelope of money she gave me. This is about all of the envelopes and cards that were given to my husband and I today that you picked through and stole the money from.
What?
I never said anything about us seeing footage of the rest of that going on, but Mom, we saw everything and it's over. There was another camera in that front room and it was looking at you from your right side. And that camera caught everything. It's so clear that we can even tell what cards and envelopes came from who that you're picking through.
No. Wait. I wasn't going through all the rest of those with the intent of stealing. I know. I was having a small look into each one of them just to make sure everything was in the...
I said that the video is as clear as day showing you stealing money out of them, yet you're still trying to make up excuses. Mom, frickin' confess. There's nothing left for you to do now. Nothing left you can do.
But I had no other choice, all right? I am in real need of money right now, okay? I have been gambling so much that I've started to have to borrow money to play more. I had to raise you and Kenzie all by myself for so long now, and that's required me to find some way to get a breath of fresh air.
You're telling me back in the day when I was still in middle school and Kenzie was out working part-time jobs instead of going to school, you were stealing all of her money in order to get a breath of fresh air? How come you even needed a breath of fresh air when you weren't even bothering to help us out at all?
You have no idea how tough things have been for me. All the crap that I've gone through. Maddie, I bet that all of this is what Kenzie is wanting you to say to me, right?
Wanting me to say what? What are you talking about? Do you think that I'm acting this way because of her right now? Mom, the reason I'm so upset with you right now and am no longer willing to put up with your BS is because you went and stole money from those envelopes and cards.
Stop making such a stupid argument. That's Kenzie. She is always causing all kinds of trouble for me.
Hey, stop it with the hate already, Mom. I am tired of you blaming her and hating on her for everything. She has done nothing wrong. She was not the one sticking her hands into those envelopes and cards and pocketing all the money that was in them.
Kenzie, are you really going to keep this up, acting like you have no respect for me at all? You went and used my own daughter against me and have her acting out against me now, calling me a criminal and a bad guy. All of this just so that you can continue to show your hate towards me.
Didn't you cut ties to me back in the day?
Yes, I sure did. But you came out here to Maddie's wedding today and are trying to pick a fight with me. So I'll join you in the ring if that's what you want.
I didn't come here looking for a fight, though. I came here today to celebrate my cute little sister's wedding and to hand her the money I brought as a gift for her. And after all that was said and done, I was going to head back home and not ever talk to you.
Your cute little sister. She's not even related to you by blood.
Does it really matter that much if families related to one another by blood?
Well, of course it is. That is the whole meaning behind a family. And all you are is the bastard child of a man who left his family behind and ran off in the middle of the night. Maddie is my child and my only child. She is the only family to me and nobody else. So you will not lay another finger on her, you hear me?
So now you're treating her as an object?
I was the one that gave birth to her, so I can treat her however I'd like to. You have nothing to do with either of us, so shut the hell up and go away. You are a bastard child that came from 2 crappy parents.
And who was it again that relied on that bastard child to survive? If I hadn't left high school and given up on my dream of going to college to start working all day long, there would have been no way for you to pay the rent, and you would have never had the money to go out and play slots all day long. I was doing all of that with the hopes of keeping the family together, and perhaps even getting a thank you or something in return for all my work.
Ha! Why are you trying to act all high and mighty like you sacrificed everything for the family? Those are all lies, you idiot.
You think I'm lying? Then tell me what you think. Show me how I'm lying right now about the money I made for the house by working all day long at the age of 16, being what supported you and Maddie.
If that's what you're going to say to me, then I'll say the same thing right back. Show me how you working and making money was the only thing that kept me alive. Give me the rundown right now of how all that work and everything you did was what kept me on my feet.
All right. I have records of all the money that you stole from me.
What?
In your place, I ran the house's account book since you were always out gambling, which made it pretty dang easy for me to keep track of all the money you would steal from my bank account. I can show you them right now if you'd like. Do you want to see the evidence of you having to rely on me to survive?
Well, that's not going to make for any evidence. You keep going on about me stealing from you, but we all lived in the same house, so that money you brought in was for everyone to use. And even without your money, I was able to live my life just the way I wanted to.
Is that right? Well, if that's the case, then give me back all that money.
What?
You just told me that even without my money, you were able to live the life you wanted, right? If that's really how things were, then give me back all the money you took. You should be able to give it all back to me, right? You said you had enough money without me to support yourself, which means you didn't need to take my money after all.
Wait. About that, actually.
You can't, can you? That's because you never worked at all, and even now Maddie and I can see you have no money. Hey, do you have any idea just how sad and disgusting you've made yourself look right now? I'm even embarrassed by how miserable of a wreck you are.
Shut the hell up. It's that right there about you that's always made me hate you. You were such an idiotic little brat, and yet you always acted like you were better than me, and still are.
Just like the good old days. Once you fell back into a corner and have nothing left to say that's constructive, you resort to verbal abuse thinking that will set you free. I've always hated that about you.
Shut up! You're a bastard child born from 2 toxic people. I'm telling you right now, you are never going to become happy if all you do is talk back to people like that.
I don't care about that.
What?
And I really don't give a crap about what you have to say to me either. However, no matter how much you try and talk trash about me, I need to stick around in order to take care of Maddie. Even if you've lost all your humanity and love to live the life of a heartless gambling criminal, I will not let the same happen to my little sister.
What kind of crap is this now?
My dad might have been a pile of trash, but the same goes for Maddie's mom. And even though I was able to break free from my dad and you, Maddie could not do the same because she has too big of a heart. That's why back when I should have been in high school getting ready for college, I had to leave and defend my little sister from monsters like you. And the idea has not changed for me. Even if I'm never to become happy because of the way I chose to act, at least I know my efforts are contributing to Maddie's happiness. And that's all I need.
What? Why are you going so far for? So far for Maddie?
Even though her and I aren't related by blood, to me she is still the most important piece of family I've ever had. Shouldn't it be natural to want to protect your family?
Hey, please, don't abandon me like this, Maddie. I've learned my lesson now, all right? I know what I've done now is wrong, okay? Please, forgive me now.
What lesson have you learned? You were coming right up behind Kenzie with the intent of stabbing her with that cake knife. Thank God security was there to grab you and get that knife out of your hands. I can't imagine what would have happened had they not seen you then.
I just became so enraged over what was going on, and I lost control over my own body. I promised to give you back all the money I stole from you. So please, just forgive me and let this all go. There is nothing left for me if you throw me away now. So please.
I understand that by not throwing you away, you're going to ask for me to start paying off all your debts because you have no means of doing so yourself, right? You'll probably start asking for my successful husband to step in and help you pay things off.
I can ask for things like that because I was the one that raised you, right? I was all by myself doing so. It was all so hard for me. How about you repay all of that time and energy I put into you?
I'm sure all of that was hard on you. So please don't think that I don't appreciate you raising me with what little you had. But Mom, I have done so much for you these past few years and even planned on paying for that dress you bought the other day for $1,000. However, a lot of that money you've put into gambling and pretty much lost it all to the point that you started to borrow money from others so that you could gamble even more. I think you being in financial peril right now is what you deserve after never learning any of the lesson I tried to teach you.
Why, Maddie, I did my very best to raise you. You have no freaking idea how hard all of that was for me and what I had to sacrifice.
Then that must mean as a high schooler who had to drop out and get 3 part-time jobs working somewhere around 80 to 90 hours a week in order to support a middle schooler and an adult, things were a lot more difficult for Kenzie, right?
What?
And to make things worse for her, many of the nights she'd come home from working, you wouldn't even be home because you were still out gambling with the money she earned for us. Did you ever once think about what she had to go through? Kenzie?
Wait, that was...
I think of Kenzie as my mother, my true mother. And that means for all of her hard work, I'd like to repay her. That way, she will know just how thankful I am for everything she's done. So I'm sorry, Mom.
What? Hold on a second. Please. I get it now. I promise to make up with Kenzie so that we can all be a family again. So please, Maddie.
That's not what she wants, though. I'm sure you want to make up with her now since your life depends on it, but to her, she doesn't want anything to do with you and would hate having you in her life again.
I'm so sorry. I promise to change my ways from now on, okay?
What? Change your... What's that? How do you read something like that? I'm sorry, but I've never seen or heard of that phrase before, so I have no idea what you're talking about.
Today was a really tough day for everyone, I think. Your mom went and stole all that money from you and then tried to stab me in the back, literally. But I still have to congratulate you on your marriage. I am so happy to see you with the man of your dreams.
Kenzie, I am so thankful for everything you've done for me for the past 10 years.
What are you talking about? I don't ever remember really doing anything for you. You just happened to be a 6th grader at the time, and I was a high schooler that was forced to leave school and work all the time.
But Kenzie, to me, you're like the mother that raised me. No, you are the mother that raised me, and I really appreciate what you did for me so much. That's why, from now on, I'd like to do some things in return for you.
You don't have to do anything, all right? I don't like all of this dramatic stuff anyway. You know that. Didn't you already say everything you felt about me today in your speech? That was more than enough to make me happy. Although, all those words about how grateful you are for me really did make my face go bright red with embarrassment.
I saw you over there shedding some tears during the speech.
Huh? I was not shedding any tears, you jerk. It was a little boring, and I had to yawn a few times.
Huh? Yawning, you say?
Maddie, you like to think of me as your mother and the one who raised you, right? Then stop teasing your mother like that.
All right, Mom. And Kenzie, thank you so very much for today. After that, we had the whole after party and dance and whatnot that comes with a wedding. But my sister and I stayed at the wedding venue all night long drinking and talking about all sorts of things. She's always been a bit antsy when it comes to things like her feelings and past, but after I got her a little bit more tipsy, I was able to dig around a bit and learn all kinds of things from her. And let me just say, having the chance to do something like that with her, being able to have some really deep talks about our lives and how we felt, has only made our bond with one another stronger. I know that she never likes me to talk about this, but I really love the fact that she is so cold on the outside, but so loving and protective on the inside. As for what happened with my real mom, let's just say I'll never be seeing her again. After she had tried to stab Kenzie, the security team called the police and held her in the storage closet until they showed up. Once the officers came inside, they took her away in their cop car, while one officer stayed behind to start checking up with some of the guests and myself about what happened. I was able to get that money she took from those envelopes all back, and both Kenzie and I will now be able to get restraining orders placed on her. We were also told that there would be a court hearing that we could go to where we could speak against her if we wanted to, while the judge thought about her punishment. For the time leading up to that hearing, I made sure to block my mom's number since this was the end of her being a part of my life. Once my sister and I got to the hearing, we got to both testify against my mom, as well as talk about all the things she'd done to us in the past and her gambling addiction. There was also the owner of the wedding venue who showed up to talk about the amount of money she would owe for all the things she damaged at the venue in her rage. At the end of the hearing, the judge ruled that she would be charged with attempted murder, which would place her behind bars for 3 years at the very least. She would also have the charges of theft and vandalism thrown on as well, considering she did attempt to steal my money and destroyed a lot of things at the wedding venue. She'll also have to pay 2 settlements, one being for all the things she destroyed, and the other one to my husband's family for causing a disturbance at the wedding. This would come to around $35,000 and would have to be paid off in the next year using whatever properties she had, those being her brand apparel, her car, her house, and so much more. I'm not sure how she's going to manage all of that debt on top of the debt she was already in, but let's just say that in a few years, when she's released from prison, she's going to have to start from square one. These days, I'm living in a very large house with my husband, who is spoiling me with all kinds of luxuries whenever he has the time off work. But I've made sure not to leave my job or anything, as I still want to save up some money for myself, in order to pay back my sister for all she's done someday.
Hey there, Selena. I just wanted to say how grateful I am to you for always looking after Pearl. It really does mean so much to me, and I'm not sure that putting it into words like this does it justice. I mean, I really do think that it's thanks to you that I'm even able to get this job in the first place. And I just know that Pearl is grateful to have you around as someone she can count on.
Aw. Well, I am really, really happy that I've been able to do that all for you and your daughter, Quinn. Although, if I can be honest with you, I really don't get the sense that Pearl likes me one bit. And since she's your daughter, I really have been trying to treat her like my own daughter as well. But I just don't really think that Pearl is all that into the idea of me as her mom.
But we've been married for 10 years, and you've made the happiest I've ever been in my entire life. I just wonder sometimes about what would happen if something happened to me.
Quinn, what are you talking about? Where is this even coming from? I mean, you're only 48 years old. You're still young.
I know, but I'm still older than you. And I think that means I'm at higher risk for something to happen to me. It's just something that I worry about now and then.
Well, I don't think that you have anything to worry about with that. In fact, I don't think that we should even really be talking about something so sad.
Well, I just wanted to say that if anything were to happen to me, if for some reason I were no longer around, I would just want you to live in a way that makes you happy.
Quinn, I really don't understand where any of this is coming from at all. Is there something that you're not telling me right now?
No, it's nothing like that at all. But I just know that Pearl is getting older, and she's probably going to be moving out of the house soon. And even if she doesn't say anything, I want to tell you how grateful I've been to you for watching over my daughter like you would your own child for the past 10 years. After all, I know how much you value your time, and 10 years is nothing to blink at.
Well, thank you so much for saying that, Quinn. That really does mean so much to hear from you. But it's not just my time. You've also shared 10 years of yours and your family's life as well. So I just wanted to let you know how much I'm looking forward to going on our 10th year anniversary trip.
I know, right? It's going to be so fun. I just can't believe that we've made it this far. I really hope that you enjoy where we're going.
Oh, I am sure that I will. And then, when Pearl's moved out and found a job, I am sure that things will settle down with her as well. When are you finally going to leave the house, you old hag? Can't you tell that nobody wants you around here at all? Pearl, why are you talking to me like that? What is the matter with you? I really don't think that is appropriate at all. I understand that you might be in shock given your father's sudden passing, but I'm in shock too. We can't just let ourselves fall apart like this, though. Shock? You think that I'm in shock because my dad died? I'm not in shock. That's just a natural thing. What would I gain from being upset about something like that, huh? I don't understand. What are you trying to say then? You're not upset over your dad dying? Let me just make something clear with you before we go any further with this conversation, Selena. My mom walked on us, and it was you who my dad chose to step in as my stepmother. But that's all you ever were to me. A stepmother. If that at all. And yet, you thought that you could get away with trying to play the role of my mother to me? You did nothing but make me sick and piss me off for years. And more than anything, all that your actions did was make me feel bad for my real mom. Pearl, I understand the way that you feel about your mom. I really did. But her and your father ended their marriage because it was something they didn't think they could fix together. As for your father and I, we only started dating after he and your mom had been divorced. I had nothing to do with that at all. So while I understand how frustrating all of that must have been for you, and how the memories might be getting brought up again now, I think that we would do well to remember that we're on each other's side here. And just what makes you think that I even want to have an old woman like you by my side, huh? I just wish that my real mom was here. She's nothing like you know that? It's so obvious that the only reason you and my dad ever even got together in the first place was because you were after his money. You thought you were going to be able to sponge off of him for the rest of your life, isn't that right? But now he's dead and gone, and you're going to get nothing. But then again, that's exactly what you deserve. Now look, if you want to insult me, then that is one thing, but I do not think that we should be talking about your father this way at all. And just why do you think you get to tell me what to do at all, huh? You really just need to get out of my life already. Do you think that I owe you something? Because if you think you have any power or rights, I'll tell you now that you don't while you're in this house. I really don't think that there's any reason to be acting like this at all. Maybe we should just stop talking for a while and let each other cool off. After all, we are going to be having friends and family arriving soon, and they shouldn't see us fighting or upset with each other. Today is the day that you are finally going to leave this house and never, ever come back. So pack up your bags and beat it already. The funeral's just ended, Pearl. What is the rush? Why can't you just let me mourn your father in peace? What do you mean? You said so yourself that the funeral is over, so what are you still mourning for? In fact, I thought you didn't even need to be there since my mom was supposed to come. So right now, you need to get packing. Although I should also say that I've already taken the liberty of throwing out a bunch of your stuff. Wait, what? Is that supposed to be some kind of joke or something? Have you been throwing away my belongings? That's right. While you were busy with the funeral and talking to everyone, I snuck back into the house and thought that I'd help you lighten the load of all the suitcases and boxes you need to pack. After all, I'm not running a storage facility here. And I'm not going to let some stranger who isn't even related to me keep her stuff just because she feels like it. In fact, I still can't wrap my head around why you haven't even left the house yet. Don't you realize that I hate you and don't want you around for another single second? But did you really throw away things that belong to me? Even if you wanted me out of the house, you had no right to do that at all. And just who are you to talk about your rights, huh? I'll remind you that this was my dad's house. And as my dad's only living child, that means it's mine too. So if I say that you don't get to live here, then you don't get to live here. And if I say that you aren't allowed to keep certain things in my house, then that's the new rule. And if you don't like living like that, then guess what? There's a door that you can walk right out of and never come back again. I'm going to be living with my real mom again, so I don't need you.
I don't understand. I can't even try when you get like this, Pearl. But now I really do think that you've said too much. No, more than that. You've gone and done too much. I really wish that you would say this is all just some big joke or prank or something like that, but...
Oh, trust me, it's not a joke in the least. I have done or will do everything that I've said here. Besides, you really ought to be more grateful to me for what I've done for you. After all I did was take out some trash that I knew you wouldn't need once you weren't living here in my house anymore.
You can't just treat other people's things like trash. I know that you know better than that. And are you sure that you really want to go and live with your mom? It's just, I worked so hard to raise you. I treated you like I would my own child. I guess I'm just in shock that so soon after your dad passed away that you would treat me like this.
You think that I care if you try to treat me like you would your own child? If you think I do, then you still really don't get it at all. I am not your child, and I never was. So quit talking like that.
Okay, if this is the way that you really want to do things, then I guess I can't stop you from acting like this. But just know that you are going to regret acting like this, okay?
The only thing I'm regretting is not throwing away more of your stuff. Why are you still hanging around after I told you over and over again that I don't need you around? Why can't you just take the hint and leave me alone already? My dad is dead, so there is not a single reason for you to hang around here another minute.
You really do know how to take things too far, don't you? Even after I tell you that you've gone far enough, you just keep pushing and pushing. But okay, if you really want to go and live with your mom, then be my guest. I won't do anything to stop you.
You couldn't stop me if you tried now that my dad is dead. You're just a guest who has overstayed her welcome as far as I'm concerned. But I don't see any reason to extend any kind of kindness to someone who isn't even part of my family. So why don't you just get lost already?
Oh, I will leave, and I wish you luck in all your future endeavors. You're going to need it.
That's rich coming from you, do you know that? You're the one that was leeching off of my dad, and now that he's gone, you can't do anything for yourself, can you? All the rest of my family here have already gone back home, so it's high time that you pack up all of the things, or at least what I've left you, and never come back here.
I take it that you still have no idea why your mom wasn't actually able to make it to the funeral, do you? Of course you don't. If you knew the truth, then you wouldn't be talking to me like this or wanting to live with her.
What are you talking about? She didn't go to my dad's funeral because they're divorced, and it would have made things awkward. Even I can understand that. Do you think that you had gotten one up on me? Did you think that you were going to scare me or something? You really don't know anything if you did.
You know what? Just don't say that I didn't warn you. If you're really going to be like this to me, then I'll go. But just know that if I go now, you won't ever be able to call on me for help. You've just lost your father, so I hope that you're sure you want to lose me too.
Of course I want to lose you. It's been a dream of mine ever since you and my dad got married. Why would I ever go to someone like you for help in the first place? I never want to see your face ever again.
Okay then, that's all I needed to know. Have a nice life. Don't screw it up too badly. Hello, Pearl. I was just wondering if you had finished getting everything ready for yourself over there.
What in the world are you talking about? I thought I told you that I didn't want to have to talk to you ever again. I told you that I wanted to cut you out of my life, so why are you messaging me just 3 days later? If you're trying to message me because you think that you can get some of my dad's estate, then you're dead wrong, and it's not going to happen. I'm going to split it all between my mom and I.
Your father's estate. I actually don't think that there's really all that much to inherit, if I can be honest with you. But anyways, I'm not contacting you as a relative or your stepmother or any of that. However, I am contacting you to let you know that I've sold the house, and so you will be having to move out of it quite soon. So I just wanted to know by about when you think you would be out of there. After all, I would hate to have to resort to forcing you out of the house, but I will if it comes to that.
Whoa. Just hold on a second. What in the world are you going on about? This isn't your house to sell. It was my dad's house, and that means that it's my house too.
I'm afraid that you're quite misinformed about that. It's actually in my name on the deed of the house.
Wait. What? You mean, are you saying that this house is actually under your name? That you really own it?
Well, of course. I was married to your father after all. Even if the house wasn't already in my name, it would pass on to me anyways. I may have let you get away with throwing out my things and forcing me to move out, but I always had the power to sell the house.
This has got to be some kind of joke or something, right? I mean, I was going to live here with my mom, and now you're telling me that you're just going to throw us out?
That is exactly what I said, yes. So since you seem to understand perfectly what it is that I'm trying to convey to you, would you kindly move out? Maybe I should try putting into words that you'll understand. You and I aren't family anymore. So why don't you pack up all of your little things into your suitcases and boxes and get out of my house already?
What is this? What are you trying to do here? Is this a threat? Are you threatening me? Because if that's what you're trying to do, then I'm not going to fall for it. Besides, I know this is all just one big bluff. You can't actually do anything to me. We are going to keep living in this house, and there isn't a single thing that you're going to be able to do about it. Do you read me? You'll never be able to throw us out of here, no matter what you say.
Are you really sure you want to try this? Because I can assure you that you'll regret it if you do, Pearl.
I already know what you're faking, so why are you even bothering to keep up this act? Now, can you please just leave me alone? I don't want to have to ask again.
Okay then, but you're forcing me to do something that I would really rather not be doing here.
Selena, you pick up your phone right now. How many times have I called you and you still haven't picked up? Can you tell if there's serious trouble over here?
I'm sorry. Who am I speaking to? I don't seem to have this number saved in my phone.
Don't play dumb with me. I don't have time for your stupid little jokes. I want answers and I want them now. Are you really still trying to kick my mom and I out of my dad's house? What's with the guy you sent to my house? Was he real? And what is going on with my dad's will? I thought that I would have gotten paid out already. But he's been dead for a whole week now and I still haven't gotten a single cent.
I think that you and I have already talked about this, but there isn't much in the way of an inheritance for you to have, Pearl.
What are you talking about? That can't be right. My dad died, and that means that all of his money and things should be mine. I mean, my dad ran his own company, for crying out loud. How can you try and tell me that he doesn't have any money at all that I should be inheriting?
It wasn't that there was nothing. It's just that I've already given you your share of your inheritance. And for the record, it should be enough to get you through, for a few months. So if you should at least be grateful for that.
Wait, what? What are you talking about? You mean those few thousands of dollars that I got after he died? You're not trying to tell me that's exactly all he had left, right? I mean, my dad should have had $1 million in cash laying around by the time he died. My mom said so, and she wouldn't lie to me.
It is true that your dad did run his own company, but that certainly doesn't mean that he was a millionaire. And as for his money and business, I've actually been bequeathed of all of it.
Wait, what do you mean? But you're not even related to him. You're just his wife. This doesn't make any sense at all.
To you, I might not have anyone, but did you really think that I was no one to your father? He chose to marry me. We loved each other. Not only that, but according to the letter of the law, as his wife, I am entitled to his estate. I think you should also know that your father thought about his own death quite often. In fact, we had multiple conversations on this topic. But ever since his death, it's become clear to me that living another day under the same roof as you would be impossible. But just remember that this is what you wanted as well. So why don't you just take your things and your mother and go somewhere else?
No, I refuse to accept anything that you're trying to tell me. I mean, why should we have to move out? Why should I have to leave my own home?
I've already explained all of this to you. But as for your mother, didn't you think there was a reason why not just your dad, but his entire family stopped communicating with her? Do you have any idea what it was that caused everyone to have nothing to do with her?
Why are you bringing my mom right now? What does she have to do with any of this at all? We were talking about you kicking me out of my house.
You really don't know anything at all then. It was your mom who stole all the money from your father and his company and then ran away. After that, your dad's company was in really bad way and was on the brink of collapse. In those days, I still happened to be working in consulting. So your dad was looking for someone who could help save his company, and that's when he met me. But that's also when I learned all about the kind of person that your mother really was. That's why he also tried to prevent you from meeting her. But you know what? After taking all his money, your mom didn't even make a fuss about not being able to see his family or even you. Not that any of your dad's family would have allowed it anyways.
No, that can't be true. My mom isn't that kind of person. You're lying to me. She told me that her and my dad split up because he cheated on her. And she told me that you were the woman that he was cheating on when they did leave each other.
Did she really tell you all of that? Because I suggest that you ask her one more time for the real truth. I met your father after him and your mom had split up. And the reason I met him is because we were working together to save his company. Your dad would have been left in massive debt if he hadn't found me, and I hadn't helped save his company. But that's also the reason why your inheritance from your dad was only a few $1,000s.
So you're really telling me that all of this is my mom's fault? She did this? She's the reason I don't have money or even a house?
That's right, but I guess that you must have been in secret contact with her this whole time. Of course, I think that your dad knew quite well that you were talking with your mom.
What do you mean? I thought this was just a secret between Mom and I. How did my dad find out that the two of us were talking?
You really think that a father doesn't know his own daughter? I think he could just sense it. He wanted you to be able to make your own choices, but he had his reasons for trying to keep you and your mom apart for as long as he did. He just knew that she would try and steal everything from you too. That's why he did his best not to have too large of an estate when he died. Instead, he arranged things so that I would inherit everything and would be able to keep it safe from your mom. He trusted me that much and took that trust in me to the grave. So now, it's my duty to respect his wishes no matter what.
So then, Dad did all of this so that my mom wouldn't try and take advantage of me? Just because I would have to come into all of his money?
That's right. He wanted to try and shield you from the people who would want to take advantage of you. But I guess it was all for nothing. After all, despite my best efforts, you insisted on insulting me, throwing me out of the house, and trying to cut me out of your life. And that's why I've decided to sell the house. You had so many chances to change your mind and make the better choice. But if you really want to live with your mom that badly, then you can be my guest.
But, hold on a second. You can't just say that. I didn't know about any of this at all. I was working with the wrong information. I mean, do you really think I would have acted this way if I knew all that to begin with?
I really don't think that it would matter. Besides, you were the one who either threw out or sold anything in the house that had to do with your father and I. So I really don't care what excuses you have for yourself now. What you were doing and the way you were acting was just unforgivable. I was married to your father for 10 years. I took care of you and did my best to raise you in all that time too. But if you don't want me in your life, if this is the path that you want to go down, then I want you out of the house now.
I don't believe this. How could you do this to me? You should have told me about all this from the very start. This is all your fault.
You are entitled to your feelings, Pearl, but I don't think knowing the truth would have really changed all that much. But at least you have your real mom to get along with now, right? You know, I was actually worried that your father's dying would really upset you or drive you into some kind of depression. But instead, you just read it as the green light to do and say all the horrible things to me that you've been wanting to. Well, I don't see why I should have to put up with an ungrateful little brat like you either. So for the last time, get out of my house and take your lousy mother with you. I felt horrible after what I said to Pearl. It wasn't because I was worried that I had upset Pearl, but more so because I felt like I had failed Quinn. I knew that he hoped that Pearl and I would be able to come together as a family, but it just didn't work. In the end, I went through with selling the house, and Pearl did, in fact, move out her mother. Sometimes I wonder if Quinn's plan to withhold so much of Pearl's inheritance was really a good idea since things have ended like this. Last I heard, she's already working a full-time job and is putting her all into it. I heard through a relative of Quinn's that she's saving up to be able to afford to go to college. Seeing that made me think that maybe Quinn wasn't trying to protect Pearl from others. Instead, I think he was trying to protect her from herself and teach her how to be able to work for and provide for yourself. And I've taken that lesson to heart, as well as I've started really managing Quinn's company.
Now I just hope that one day in the future, that Pearl will have had enough time to reflect on her actions and that we can see each other. I haven't given up on her. If not for my own sake, then for the sake of the promises that I made to my husband before he died. But until that day, I am going to keep working as the head of Quinn's company. I've even decided to set some money aside to give to Pearl in the event that she does finally come to her senses. Thank you for watching. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe to see more content like this.